Welcome to Can't Stop the Pop, the podcast where we, that's me, Matty,
and me, Craig,
do a deep dive on a song from the 90s and noughties. Well, Craig, darling, it's our Christmas episode.
I feel so festive.
So festive. Jingle, jingle, jingle. So what song, what absolute Christmas classic are we doing this week?
Well, Matty, this is a big one. We are doing Kate Winslet, What If? What are your immediate thoughts on that? Why are you laughing?
Because I know that since we talked about doing a podcast, ladies and gentlemen, this was the first song that Craig wanted to talk about. This was the whole reason for doing the podcast was so that Craig could gush about the short and sweet and long-remembered career in singing of Kate Winslet. What are my immediate thoughts? My immediate thoughts are, this is actually a really, really beautiful song. This is a great song. It's just so bizarre. It's almost like everything about this, that it was a song for a really weird movie, and we'll get into all this. It's utterly weird that it had happened. And I honestly think there's going to be some people that listen that have no idea this song even exists.
That is very, very possible. I wanted to talk about this song because I think it's one of those songs. It's garnered a bit of a reputation as, I think, a bit of an online, I'm going to say a bit of a gay, ironic classic, I think.
Absolutely.
So I thought, because it is Christmas and it is, we're coming up to the end of the first season, I thought I would reach out to Kate Winslet and invite her to come on the podcast to talk about this song.
Oh my God, is Kate Winslet in your living room? Is she about to appear?
I've got a little surprise for you. I've got a statement from Kate Winslet's PR team. So I contacted them. And I won't read you all the contents, but what I said to them was, we plan on featuring What If in our Christmas episode. It's one of the most read articles on the website, and we'd love it if Kate Winslet might be interested to join us and discuss her experience of recording and promoting the song. It's much loved by our target demographic, in brackets, basically, gay men in their 30s, and we'd of course be happy for Kate Winslet to promote her existing projects on the podcast.
Existing projects? Just casually Avatar 2.
We got a response.
Oh, wow.
It says, "Hi, Craig. Thank you so much for thinking of Kate for this. However, due to her schedule, we will have to politely pass. All the best, Abby. Kiss."
She put a kiss.
I hasten to add that I didn't actually specify when we'd be recording this episode. But Kate Winslet's schedule apparently is such that it doesn't matter when we record this episode, she is too busy.
I really hope that somehow one day this gets back to Kate Winslet and she hears us talking about this letter. Honestly, this is so funny. Good on them for replying anyway.
Yeah, so thanks, Abby. Yeah, no Kate Winslet for this episode, I'm afraid.
Damn it.
So I guess we'll have to talk about the song and try and do it justice ourselves. So Kate Winslet is obviously, she's an Oscar-winning English actress, and she's not known for singing. She is a one-hit wonder. This is her only song, and it was recorded for A Christmas Carol, the movie, which was released in 2001, and Kate Winslet voiced one of the characters in that movie. When she was recording her lines, she was approached by the producers of the film, and they said to her, "We'd like to give your character a song in the movie." And she goes, "Well, yeah, you know what, I can hold a tune, but you might want to get a session singer in for it." And they said, no, give it a try. Just here's the song, have a blast, have a go with it, and we'll just see how it is. So she records this song and she goes back to them and they go, okay, that was good. She's like, okay, right, fine, job done. And then they say to her, we'd like to release it as a single. And she's like, well, that wasn't part of the deal, but I tell you what, you can release it as a single so long as all the proceeds go to charity. And they agree. They go, yeah, fine. So good for her. That's great. But then I think because of the writers of the song, so it's written by Steve Mack and Wayne Hector, who at that point were mainly known for writing Westlife songs. Obviously, once this goes out to the press, the charity angle was a bit lost. And everyone's like, well, Kate Winslet's launching a pop career and she's going to fight it out for the Christmas #1. This wasn't released in time for Christmas.
It was on like Now, something like, I remember like Now 43 or something like that. I remember it being specifically in one of those compilations, and that's where the legacy of it in our house continued. They're like, Kate Winslet, what if? What if she'd had a continued career, you know?
So this song got to number 6, and it sold 130,000 copies. It's the 94th bestseller of 2001.
What was the 95th?
No, don't ask me that. I'll find it. I will find it.
I know you will. I mean, it's still a respectable chart position. Was that number 6 in the Christmas #1 week, or was that earlier?
No, it hung around over Christmas. So it was in the top 20 for, I think, 2 months. So yeah, it hung around for, over Christmas. So it was never going to be a Christmas #1. And just because you asked, I can tell you, because we love a sandwich, it sold just slightly more in the year-end chart than Papa Roach's Last Resort. And it was outsold by Love Me by Shaggy featuring Samantha Cole.
Wow. I don't think we'll be covering either of those songs on Can't Stop the Pop, ladies and gentlemen, but Kate Winslet is sandwiched between the two of them.
Between Shaggy and Papa Roach. That sounds painful. It was released around Christmas time. It wasn't released in contention for the Christmas #1, but she's, in hindsight, a little bit mortified about that fact because she just recorded the song for the film and suddenly it becomes a single and there's all this stuff around she's launching a pop career, which she didn't, and she had no intention of doing that. But it's a really nice song. It is a ballad, as you'd expect. It's got quite a classic sound to it, I think. It's not a sort of early noughties overproduced pop ballad. It's quite stripped back.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it is very stripped back, and I actually really like the first verse and chorus before the drums kick in. I think once the drums and the beat kicks in, it does become a little bit more what you'd expect from the time. But the production's lovely on it. It's just a really nice melody. I really enjoy the hook of the da 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 da. That's a really nice hook. I mean, bless Kate Winslet, but like, if it had been recorded by someone else, maybe it would be much more well regarded as a song. You know, her own embarrassment of them trying to launch her for a pop career has probably overshadowed it. I did realize something as soon as you said it's 2001. It's 2001, right? You said? So the Christmas #1 that year, it was Robbie and Nicole. I also, thinking back on it, and remember, which is obviously, for people who can't remember, Nicole Kidman and Robbie Williams recorded a duet of Something Stupid. And this was in the wake of Nicole Kidman doing Moulin Rouge. And I remember distinctly some people that were saying that it's like Hollywood actresses from major movies recording. And you can imagine, like, obviously Nicole had done the biggest musical of the year and had been nominated for awards for that movie, whereas Kate Winslet obviously wasn't going to be nominated for any awards for this song. And also the movie itself that it was from, I mean, honestly, it wasn't received well at the time, was it, at all? But you can see why, looking at the animation.
Oh my God. It's got a reasonably famous voice cast. So it's got Jane Horrocks, Nicolas Cage, Simon Callow, and I don't want to call nepotism, but Beth Winslet is also in it portraying a fan. But the animation style, not everything's going to be a Pixar or a DreamWorks, but the animation style is that it's that horribly bland style where it looks like a very early 90s, the sort of cartoon you would expect to see in the early 90s on Christmas morning. Sort of just throw it out, a little bit of a budget cartoon, budget depiction of A Christmas Carol.
It looks like some of the really pretty bad straight to VHS Disney sequels that were just thrown together. And if you think about, we're talking about animation here, and we're talking about a song, but like when you do hand-drawn animation, there needs to be a depth to the levels, even if it is hand-drawn, because you've then got to put every single layer within to the computers as they were doing at the time. And every layer and every character is flat as a pancake. There's no depth. There's nothing to it. And this is 2001 this came out.
It just looks like a budget release. It doesn't look good. And you think, yeah, Kate Winslet, 2001, this is only a couple of years after Titanic. This is a massive coup to have her in this movie, and I just think the art style of it is so bland. But talk about recording, and I remember reading at the time, and you know, sometimes you read things and you think, I can't remember where I read this or where I heard this, but I remember reading that when Kate Winslet recorded this, here's me telling the actor how animated movies are made, the voice acting is done first, isn't it? And then they animate around the voice acting.
Most of the time, yes. You know, there's other situations now, like motion capture and things like that. But even then, a lot of the time, it is recorded first because they might develop the story as they go. If you are a voice actor in an animation, especially when it was hand-drawn, you're contracted for a long time because if anything then changes along the way, you've got to come in and redo it.
I remember reading that each line in this song had to be recorded individually, and I think that comes through in the song. There isn't ever a point in the song where they flow over each other. I think that's what gives it a really nice, like the quality of it. It's almost a little bit haunting that there's never this point where she gets really involved in it. There's almost like this disconnect, and I really like that in the song. And I love the middle eight, like if only we could turn the hands of time, that bit where it starts stirring up, and I love it, but it never gets as involved as you would think a ballad like this would. It's no X Factor winner single because of the way it was animated and because of the way it was recorded. And I can't say that that is what happened. The only person who could probably tell us that is Kate Winslet, but she politely declined. We'll just have to assume that I did hear that and it is true.
I find interesting on that point about the individual lines because I think the song begins in a way that it seems like it's going to be written in a very musical theatre torch ballad song. And there's also like a film version, which is not got the pop drums in and it's a bit shorter. The song never really lands that. It's midway between a musical theatre song and a Westlife ballad of the time. And it sort of fits in a nice gap in between.
There is that nice balance. It is like a recorded version of a musical theatre performance, even in the way she sings, because she is an actress, and the way she delivers the lines. So yeah, I love that. And although Kate Winslet, she wasn't going to go and promote the song, she did record a music video. And I probably need to talk about that because it's...
I think we need another episode to talk about the video. I love this video. It is just... It's baffling. Absolutely baffling.
She's in like a house. Think of a house in Charles Dickens' time. That's the sort of house she's in. And she's wandering round the house and she's being followed by the ghost of a scullery maid.
Oh, it's so weird.
I'm trying to unpick it and I'm like,
She's singing about a lover. That's kind of the sort of the song because her character in the movie is Belle, who, if you understand Christmas Carol and Charles Dickens, was Scrooge's like woman that left him, and it's the reason why he turned evil.
Scrooge's woman.
It's Scrooge's, potential wife that then leaves him.
A strange love.
In this version of it, she gets back with him, so it's not really...
Yeah.
So, but the video doesn't follow that. So she's singing about, like, what if I had never let you go? Like, all this lovey-dovey stuff. And yeah, it's like the woman in black, but with no horror. She's just like this ghost just wandering the corridors, and she's just like, where is the ghost? Looking over there.
And the ghost is trying to write her... I've written in my notes, ghost pen. I think the ghost is trying to communicate with her.
The pen.
The ghost is trying to communicate with her, I think.
Oh, I wrote that down as well. I was just like, suddenly the pen is writing a message. Where did this pen come from? And you know what is also, I think, the strangest moment of it? And I feel like it's just like the director probably went, Kate, go pick up that book. She just randomly then reads A Christmas Carol within the video. It's really meta. It's like...
It's meta.
Oh, it's poetry. It's poetic.
There's a bit in the video, she puts her hand against the mirror and it leaves this handprint, and it makes me think of that scene from Titanic.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that you would put that in the video and not think of that, because it was still fairly recent. I think don't put the sex in a car, a reference to that, in this video. Why is that there?
I think it's worth also saying that, I'll keep talking about the video, but you mentioned that Titanic had not been that long ago. I think at this point it had been 4 years. But obviously Titanic was the biggest movie of all time. It is still in the top few movies ever in terms of box office success. Despite winning so many awards and being successful, both Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, it's weird to think now, but both of them struggled to shake off that movie, and they struggled
for sure
to move on with their career for a few years. But at the time, you can imagine that they were kind of wrestling with this idea of like, oh, well, maybe she could have a pop career. Maybe we could put her in a music video. Maybe that's the direction her career will go. And this music video is just bizarre. What is the bit where there's like a bust for clothes that keeps appearing, and then suddenly it has clothes on, but then it doesn't, and then they disappear like bit by bit, as if it's like a slowed down time bit where you see like an apple core go down. It's absolutely bonkers. And also, why is... Sorry, you go. I have so many notes on this video.
What I will say, because she's an actress, so she does actually act the parts really well in the video. Like, she is the best thing about the video.
If you didn't know who Kate Winslet was and you watched this, you would think this was either debut single or, you know, a big pop diva of the early 2000s. It is hilarious how much she sells it. She's got all these really insane close-ups. And I said, it feels like and with like a lens refocus and flare on it when she looks at her. And it's like DJ Sammy Heaven video where, you know, you've got the woman really close up in the camera. And there's this one shot which I burst out laughing when I watched it. Because you can I can hear the director going like, Kate, I want to get your face, and then like your hair's going to flip back. And she fully does like I'm looking at the ground, and then I'm looking up at the camera, and then it's boom, into the music. They were trying to sell her like Celine Dion, and bless her, that's not who she was.
Very quickly, just imagine, just for a second, that Kate Winslet had intended to launch a pop career.
Oh, wow.
What sort of album do you think she would have recorded?
Well, I think I just mentioned it. I feel they'd have tried to put her down a route of like a Celine Dion type. Ballads, mid-tempos. They'd have put a few guest features in there. So they'd have put a James Corden of his day or whoever it was in the early 2000s to feature on a song of, you know, oh, it's another actor or actress. But yeah, I think it would have definitely gone down the sort of Celine Dion ballad type route. Or maybe not. Maybe she'd have released a load of dance bangers. Where's the What If Club Extended remix?
I'm tempted to agree. I think she probably would have gone down that similar route. But I just think, imagine a Kate Winslet version of Stripped. Like, how good that would be.
I was not prepared for that to be where the conversation went. It's just me, Kate, Stripped. Kate singing Dirty. Can you imagine the horror? But it's like, can the song be for charity? No, it's dirty. It needs to be to make money.
Yeah, and now we're going to get little Kim in for this one when you release this one a little later on. Oh,
Oh, no, I was thinking more, like, she'd perform with, like, dry ice and candles around her and be just like, hello, everybody, this is my Las Vegas residency. It's my Celine Dion impression.
She probably would. She just probably would have been the Adele of her day, wouldn't she?
The Adele of her day. The most successful British female in the world right now. Kate Winslet could have been Adele. You know what? I would love Kate Winslet and Adele to hang out. I think that would be a funny pair.
I'd say this, I'm just thinking out loud, and I know we will wrap up, but I think actually, if you think, what would Kate Winslet have done? If you think about this as like sort of an X Factor sounding song, it would have been like Leona Lewis's debut album, wouldn't it? That's what she would have done.
That's it. You know what? Maybe Leona should have recorded What If. I can so hear Leona recording this. Wow.
I mean, no offense to Leona, but I'd rather Kate Winslet record Spirit, if I'm honest.
In full. Hope you forgive me.
I want the full Bleeding Love treatment, the whole video treatment with Kate Winslet. That's what I want.
Or Kate Winslet singing Run. Getting vocal lessons to sing Run.
We've gone off on a tangent. So,
Merry Christmas, listeners. If you want to listen to this song and put this on your Christmas playlist, because why wouldn't you? You can find it on all streaming platforms. And, maybe there's a physical single out there somewhere. Where can they find us, Craig?
We have a website where there are over 400 reviews, including this song, and you can find us at can'tstopthepop.com. We're also on social media. I am at can'tstoppop on X and can'tstop_the_pop on Instagram.
And I am at Matkins on X and Matt_Atkins9 on Instagram.
And if you like what you hear, we do have a Patreon at patreon.com/can'tstopthepop. If you can give us anything, no matter how small, we would love you forever. Come on, I've set you up for this one.
How have you set me up for this one?
We would keep bleeding. We'd keep bleeding.
No,
love
I
forever.
was going to go obscure this time. I was going to go, we'd love you like a love train. In the words of S Club 7. No, I remember that track from
I do remember. I'm thinking, wow, that is properly left field.
Left field, deep cut. That's what we like. Do get in touch. Let us know what you think of the song. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know what you think Kate Winslet's debut album would have sounded like. And please leave a review and a star rating if you're on streaming, wherever you get your podcasts from.
Thank you so much for listening. This is the end of the season.
It is.
We will be back for season 2, and we are going to record a little end of season retrospective just to recap some of our favourite moments, maybe put in a few things that got cut. Look out for that. But if you're desperate for new episodes, we will be back next year with a brand new season, loads of new songs, and hopefully some special guests, but probably not Kate Winslet.
Fingers crossed for the special guests. If we interview Kate Winslet one day, I think that will be an iconic full circle moment. Oh, well, yes, this has been the last episode, so thank you all so much.
Can't stop the pop.